All right, so you're considering moving to Chilliwack, but you're not from the area, and maybe you don't even know that much about the city of Chilliwack itself. I can't think of anything worse than moving to a new city and purchasing a home in the wrong neighborhood because you didn't know the areas. In this video, I'm gonna be going over the top 5 most popular and desirable neighborhoods in Chilliwack. I'm gonna be sharing some information about the neighborhoods, as well as some pros and cons, so that you can find a place that's gonna fit you and your family. But there's absolutely no replacement for working with an agent who is a local Chilliwack resident. My name is Jeremy Van Werden. I'm a local Chilliwack real estate agent, and I have lived here my entire life. If you want to be the first one to know about living in Chilliwack, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll make sure that you stay informed on all things Chilliwack real estate. I've helped many people just like you find a home in Chilliwack, and I absolutely love getting those phone calls of people wanting me to help them navigate the Chilliwack real estate market. And now let's get into our list of the top 5 neighborhoods in Chilliwack. First up is Vedder. When you look at a map of Chilliwack, there's essentially 2 areas in Chilliwack, with Highway 1 acting as the divide. Up to the north, you have Chilliwack proper, and then to the south of the freeway, you have Sardis. Within the community of Sardis lies Vedder, and Vedder is actually on the far south side of Chilliwack. It's about as far south as you can go. Vedder really offers a safe, family-friendly, and clean environment to call home. In one word, it's suburbia. You've got multiple grocery stores, you've got a gym and pool, you've got the Sardis Sports Complex if you're into ice hockey, you've got a library, and all levels of schools are really close here. In terms of housing, there really is a large variety of homes in this area, but it's predominantly single family homes and townhouses, with a few condo buildings, but not too many. Price-wise, expect to pay a little bit more here because it is such a desirable area, but you're probably also gonna get a newer home in a better area than you would on the Chilliwack side. If what I've mentioned isn't already enough to make you wanna live here, I'm gonna share with you the biggest pro of living in Vedder. It's without a doubt the proximity to the Vedder River and the Rotary Trail. For cons, it's really hard to come up with much, but I would say if I had to come up with one, it would probably be some of the traffic in certain areas at certain times of the year or certain times of the day. So in summer, you might notice more traffic on their way to Cultus Lake, and then on school days during pickup and drop off, Watson Road can get quite congested. For number 2, it is Garrison Crossing. And Garrison Crossing is actually located inside of Vedder, but it does deserve some special attention. Garrison Crossing is a master planned community, so it has cute, colorful homes with meandering streets and trails throughout. The community was designed to be very livable, so it has that residential aspect, of course, but then it also has a commercial space with little shops, restaurants, a grocery shop, and all of it is just within walking distance, so it's very pedestrian friendly. In terms of housing, Garrison really has all forms of housing. So of course they have detached homes, they've got townhouses, row houses, duplexes, apartments. You can really find any type of housing here, but again, expect to pay a premium for living in such a desirable area. My main pro for Garrison is that if you like a cozy, close-knit community, Garrison is the place for you. It's walkable, it's easy to get around, and it's centrally located. And for my con, it's really just the flip side of the pro, which is that some people find it too claustrophobic in Garrison Crossing. It's because it has small lots, small yards, and the homes are built close together. Depending where you're coming from, that might be totally normal for you, so you might think it's cozy and quaint. For number 3, we have Rosedale, and I might be a little bit biased about this, but I love Rosedale because this is where I grew up. Rosedale is about a 20-minute drive from Chilliwack proper, so it is a little bit out of the way, and it lies east of Chilliwack. Rosedale really is quite spread out and definitely has a rural feel to it. You do still have some newer subdivisions, including some that are still getting built out. By way of amenities, expect what you would of any rural community. You've got a local grocery store, you got a flower shop, post office, gas station, 1 restaurant, but that's about it. For everything else, you're driving into Chilliwack. But what you don't get by way of amenities in Rosedale, you're going to get by way of nature and views. You're gonna find views of Mount Cham from nearly everywhere in Rosedale, not to mention the proximity to the nature and outdoor activities that comes along with that. And a couple of my favorites are gonna be the Chilliwack Dyke Trail that lies along the Fraser River, Cham Wetlands, and Bridal Veil Falls. By way of housing here, you only have one option, which is detached homes. It's a more rural community, and so it's single family homes on large lots. For the main pro of living in Rosedale, you've probably already gathered that it's the quieter pace of life and just the space and room to breathe. For the main con of Rosedale, if you want proximity to all those services that the city of Chilliwack offers, and you want them just a minute or 2 away, Rosedale does not offer that. For things like grocery shopping, going to your doctor, going to the hospital, or going out for dinner, you're more than likely gonna be driving into Chilliwack for that, so count on 15 to 20 minutes, mostly on the highway. And coming in at number 4 is Fairfield Island, which isn't an island at all. It's just located between the Hope Slough and the Fraser River on the far north side of Chilliwack. This community borders farmland on one side and the city of Chilliwack on the other side, and it's known for being a family-friendly community with older homes on larger lots. Housing in this area is mainly limited to single-family homes, as well as some newer townhomes that have been built more recently. But for the most part, you're going to find a lot of older BC box-style homes. These are actually practical and well-built homes from back in the 70s and 80s, and they can actually be renovated quite nicely if you want to bring them up to date. Because of the larger lot size on Fairfield Island, we're seeing some of these older homes get torn down by developers, then they're subdividing the land and building 2 new infill homes. These homes, of course, are causing some slight densification, not terrible, and in my opinion, it's kind of modernizing the community and really giving it a facelift. The main pro of living on Fairfield Island is the fact that it's an older community, so you have those larger streets, quieter streets, larger lots, and it's surrounded by farmland, so it tends to be quite quiet. The main con to living in Fairfield Island is that it's going to be a little bit out of the way. It feels a little bit inconvenient. So if your whole life is located on the north end of Chilliwack, kids' school, grocery shopping, all that is happening in Chilliwack already, probably not a big deal for you. But if you have to get over to the Sardis side of Chilliwack, it feels like it's a bit cumbersome getting there because you got to weave through all of Chilliwack in order to get to the highway. And lastly, we have Promontory Heights. Again, Promontory is primarily a residential community, so it doesn't offer much by way of amenities in the community itself, but just down the hill is Sardis and Vedder, so you're really not that far away from the things that you need. Promontory Heights is a relatively new community. It didn't actually start getting developed until the 1990s, and because of that, you're gonna find that most of the homes up here are gonna be from the 90s and newer. Housing here is gonna be mostly single family homes and townhouses. You're gonna find that a lot of the detached homes actually have secondary suites in the lower level. One concern that a lot of people have with Promontory is snow. They worry that when the snow flies, they're gonna be stranded up on the mountain, and really that's not much of a valid concern. Snow removal is priority on Promontory, so they're fairly good about cleaning the streets up there. And really, if we get a bad snowfall, at worst, you're gonna be stuck in your home for a day. After that, you can get out and about with your life. The main pro that I would give for living on Promontory would definitely be the convenient location and newer homes. One aspect of living up on Promontory that some people don't like is when you're trying to come down the hill and get into Sardis and Vedder. Sometimes you can find that traffic can get a little congested through that area. Thank you so much for watching my video on the 5 top neighborhoods in Chilliwack. There's so much more that I could say about these communities. If you're considering a move to Chilliwack or living in one of these communities, I would love to be the agent to help you out. So please give me a call, send me a message, we'll connect and we'll find you your next home in one of these communities.